Hello, 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 hello. How y'all doing this evening? This Friday evening, uh, February the 25th, 2023. My name is Jackie Robinson, and I have not been on the Triple Change podcast in a minute. I think my last podcast was the end of summer last year, about August. That was around the time that I got a contract to build a website for Chrysler retirees. Yes, yes, I built a website for Chrysler retirees. And so if you are a Chrysler retiree, go on out to ncro.org. That's ncro.org, and check them out if you're a Chrysler retiree and get information that you need about your pension benefits and some other information about Medicare and Social Security. They have all that information out there on that website. So yeah, so I've been busy. And that was August, September, October, November, December. And so here we are into 2023. February is almost over. Can you believe it? February is almost gone. And I am now in the mode of working with my clients, my two clients that I have working on their websites. And so everything is in maintenance mode now. Maintenance mode. We got everybody on schedule. And now that means I can travel. Anywhere there's an internet connection, I can be there. But at the same time, one of the things that I have on my list for today's discussion, which is things to know before you go, and it's better to know before you go, places that you are considering retiring to. If you are a digital nomad, even if you are a senior citizen and retired, like I am, you still need reliable internet connection. And so that's something that's really important, especially if you need to check email, you need to get on the internet, you got projects, things that you're doing. So, one of the things that's on the list to look out for when you are scouting for a place to retire is reliable internet connection. Now, I know for me, I retired in 2020. I think it was the spring, oh, excuse me, the spring of 2020. And in that year of 2020 was when the doggone COVID hit. And so all the international trips that I had planned had to be canceled. That's fine. We got through 2020, we got through 2021, we made it through 2022, and here we are in 2023, and we traveling. We looking to go places, we looking to get out, meet other people, experience different cultures, food, entertainment, history, all of that. Whether that's over in Europe, or whether that's in Africa, or whether that's in Colombia, Panama, South America, all these places that I have seen on the internet. It's very important that you plan ahead. So, what I'm trying to do is I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube by some of these vloggers, some of the most wonderful vloggers. I'm gonna tell you who they are in just a minute. That's here they are. There's Stephanie Perry, and they do a Exodus Summit where I think it's 2 or 3 times a year they invite expats to this summit, and they talk about things you need to know in terms of immigration, in terms of passports, in terms of how to get around in a city, things to look out for. There's also Tiffany Patterson. She also has a YouTube channel. I just found this other one, Kurt Warrell, Warrell. His is Black Man in Merida, Mexico. Now, I had considered Merida when I was shopping around for a place to go, but it just seemed like it gets so hot because that's right on the is that the Yucatan Peninsula rather. And it seemed like when I was researching the weather conditions throughout the year, Merida looked like it might be real hot. Now, I don't mind hot weather, but I don't want it too hot. And some of you might not also want it too hot. But anyway, that's Kurt Warwell. Then there's, I think it's Picky Girl, not Pinky Girl, but Picky Girl. She has a very nice YouTube channel. I love the Yarboroughs. The Yarboroughs, they have been all over South America, Mexico. They have recently did a series of videos in Ecuador, and I think they really like Ecuador. But then the next thing I knew, I think they were back in Mexico. But check out the Yarboroughs, Yarbos, the Yarboroughs. They are constantly posting content on their YouTube channel. And then there's my boy Bill the Geek. Bill the Geek. I'm gonna give a shout out to Bill the Geek. Now, Bill the Geek Davis Lewis, and right now he's in Mazatlan, Mexico. But now I got turned on to Bill when he was in Ajijic, Lake Chapala, Ajijic, which is South Guadalajara. And I had made plans to go to Ajijic and check it out. It seemed like a nice place for retirees, but I think it was a hurricane. It was something coming. It was like, nah, I think we're gonna bypass Ajijic this time. And so Bill the Geek, he has his YouTube channel where he is giving you very detailed information about Mazatlan, which is where I am headed for my birthday. I'll be in Mazatlan in a couple of weeks, for a couple of weeks. And it started out, it was going to be a solo trip, a solo travel trip. But now I have a travel companion. And so we're going to be doing YouTube videos and Instagram shoots and getting the old girl together and makeup and maybe a new hairdo, change her clothing style because I'll be 70. Now, what I did not tell you, I talked about this in another video on my Trip of Change YouTube channel, is how I live my life in 10-year increments. And so now, I think I started this when I was like 40s or something. So 40s, my 50s, I'm coming out of my 60s, and now I'm going into my 70s. So I'll no longer be able to say I'm 60 something. I now have to say I'm 70, which, you know what? God bless me because I'm still here, and I'm grateful for the life that I have. As some of you, I mean, it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, there's been hills and there's been valleys. But my faith in God, my spiritual convictions has always taken me over to the other side. And so now that I'm going to be 70, and I want to be my fabulous self at 70, okay? Get my hair together, like I said, my makeup, and check myself, check my health, and now travel. So on my list were several places that I want to check out. In Mexico, I looked at Mexico City. Why Mexico City? Because Mexico City is a big city, and I figured that they would have excellent internet connection. Plus Mexico City is what, an hour and a half out of Houston, which is 2 hours away from Atlanta. So easy to get back to the United States. I considered Ajijic, which is further south west from Mexico. Puerto Vallarta, if that's how you say it, Puerto Vallarta. But that seemed like a big tourist town. There was a young lady, I forget her name. She talked about living in Puerto Vallarta, and she seemed to be happy with it and having a nice time. And so, other than Bill the Geek, I have also watched Shy Wild, Misako Invita. Okay, I like that name, girl. Misako Invita. Roshida Doe. I hear a lot about Roshida from Stephanie and Picky Girl. They talk about Roshida, and I guess I would imagine that these three, or maybe some other ones, collaborate together to bring you the Exit Summit. Now, these are women who are already out of the United States. These are young women who are living in other countries right now. And I think that's Stephanie Perry. She travels all over the world because she does house sitting. Okay. That is an option for especially young people who are looking for ways to make extra money or to make money if your budget does not allow for you to live without working, like some of us who are retired and we have our social security, we have our pensions, we have our investment funds. And so when we look at these different countries and they talk about the amount of money that you need to be able to get a visa in these countries, some of us are capable of doing it because we have the money in our accounts. Some of you all, some of you younger ones, have to have that extra income coming in, be it house sitting like Stephanie does, or some other at home internet jobs. Oh, don't let me forget our Black Utopia with Rick and Halassi. They're over in Lisbon, Portugal. And so they are reporting with excellent videos on their YouTube channel about living in Portugal and the things that are necessary. They even have a financial series where they talk about investments and money and marketing and not marketing, but budgeting. And I really, really appreciate their channel. Now, the last one I want to mention is Deborah Valerie. What I found interesting after starting to watch these YouTube channels, because I started watching these YouTube channels maybe about 2, 3 years ago. It was the younger people. The younger people were saying, okay, when COVID hit and they had the opportunity to work remotely, it was like, I'm out of here. I can take the money that I'm making or spending on my rent and my expenses here in the United States and go and live somewhere else. And I remember at the time of COVID, when COVID first hit, Barbados was offering a 1-year visa for any business that wanted to live, work, and play in Barbados. And so digital nomads are now all over the world. Oh, and there's this other place. What's the name? Escapes me. I'll have to come back to that. But it is a place that you can rent room space like an Airbnb, but it is it's like a hostel, but it's a more upscale type of hostel where you can have your own room, you can have a private bathroom, but it's fitted for digital nomads. And I may talk about that place some other time. But anyway, at 70, I am now looking to move somewhere else, whether it is Mexico. I got my eyes set on Malaga, Spain. Oh my God, Malaga, Spain um, is right there on the coast. It has a port, like Mazatlan has a port. It has a port. It has a fast train system that can get you from Paris back to Malaga, to Madrid, to Barcelona, to Lisbon, to Italy. I mean, that seems like a really, really nice place. And it's very clean. That's one thing that's on my list, is someplace that's very, very clean. And so after Bill the Geek moved to Mazatlan, I said, let me check out Mazatlan. So I started doing some research, the history of it. and where it's located, north of Puerto Vallarta, on the other side of Cabos, which I've been to Cabos. And but and I said I'm not going to mention that about the cartel, so I'm not going to talk about the cartel because what I'm hearing from the people on the ground in Mazatlan is they feel safe. They feel safe. They just had carnival and there are other activities going on. Bill had a YouTube channel this morning and he talked about every other day there's a parade. There's something always going on. And so I will be going to Mazatlan for 2 weeks. I'm going to check out the south side of Mazatlan, stay at Airbnb on the south side, and then I'm gonna check out the north side of Mazatlan. I'm gonna be staying near I think it's the Sonola Country Club up there in that area. Kind of get a different flavor from what's up there, from the flavor that's down here. But I have to keep in mind too that it's small. It's not like Atlanta. It's not like a big city. It's much smaller. So we're going to be checking that out. And like I said, I got a travel partner. My travel partner is really a fashionista influencer on Instagram. So I'm really, really fortunate to have her go along with me because we're gonna be shooting videos and we're gonna be taking pictures and posting it on Instagram because I will be celebrating my 70th birthday right there in Mazatlan. So uh, yeah, I appreciate the people that I will be meeting when I get there. So, Bill the Geek, put your hat on. I'm coming. I'm coming, Bill. So, now that I've talked about some of the things that I'm trying to do to become an expat and move to another country, and I mentioned all these beautiful people who have um, YouTube channels that talk about in detail things you need to know once you get to that country. But I'm a little not baffled or awestruck. I'm a little mm, I'm wondering about some things, and I'm wanting to ask these questions here on YouTube and find out whether or not you all know the answers and willing to